Hey there. Have you ever been watching television, with your parents' permission, of course, and you're flipping through the channels looking for something good to watch, again, with your parents' permission, and you can't find anything, right? And you decide, you know what, I'm just going to look at the guide. So you hit the guide button on the remote, if you've got DirecTV or Dish, for example, or whatever. And you go down the schedule, the list of programs for that particular time, of what's good to watch. You come across something that you find interesting based on the titles. What do? You take the remote, you highlight that piece where the program title is, you hit the info button, information, and what comes up? Information about that particular program. What do you usually see? Well, you see the title. You may see the names of some actors, actresses that are in it, the year it was made maybe, the genre, but you also see one sentence that tells you what that particular program is mostly about. Does it give it away, the sentence? No, it doesn't give away the ending. Why would you watch it if that was the case? But it gives you a pretty good idea of what that program is going to be about, what it's mostly about, also known as its main idea. Yep, that sentence is the main idea. The main idea is a sentence that tells you what a program, or in reading, it would be a passage, article, or story, is mostly about. Giving you a brief idea, the central message of it. Okay? Like I said, it goes with entertainment. It also goes with reading, when reading is entertainment. But it goes with reading passages as well. It goes with fiction, and it goes with nonfiction. In this case, I've got a brief nonfiction passage I'm going to share with you. And we're going to figure out what its main idea is, okay? Here's the passage right here. Okay, hopefully you can see it. You could always pause if you need to, but I'll read it to you anyway. Just follow along. Here we go. It says, the history of China goes back thousands of years. For most of it, the nation was ruled by families called dynasties. China is also known for having the longest-lasting empire in world history. Besides its history, China is famous for its Great Wall, the largest man-made structure on Earth. China also has more people than any other country in the world. Okay? Take a look at it again. Like I said, you could pause. All right? And there you go. Now we're going to figure out what the main idea of this passage is. Okay? On the back here, I've got 4 choices, kind of like a test. And we're going to figure out which of these is the best choice to be the main idea. If I said, well, what is this passage mostly about? What would you pick? Or if this was a TV program, which one of these would you put under the info if you were in charge, okay? So let's go down and see. The first one says, China's history started thousands of years ago. Is that piece of information in the article or in the passage? Let's go back to see. Remember, always look back. I don't care how much you think you remember it. Always look back. Remember, I'm looking for history, keywords like history, thousands. And what do you know? History, thousands of years. It says the first sentence. It says the history of China goes back thousands of years. Yes, that's a piece of information that's in there. But is it the main idea? Is that what this is mostly about? We'll take a look. Do you see anything else that mentions thousands of years, or maybe the number of years, the dates, or anything like that? It goes here, it talks about where is it? Right here, the longest lasting empire. But once you get past that, is there anything down here that talks about the length of its history? No. So we could probably safely say that that is, even though that's a good, piece of information, it's important, probably not the main idea. Probably not the main idea. What it probably is a pretty good detail, which supports the main idea. But we'll find out and see. Let's go to the second choice. It says the Great Wall of China is the largest man-made structure on Earth. Once again, doesn't it say that? It says it right here. Keywords, Great Wall, largest man-made structure on Earth. It says it right there. Right? But once again, my question to you is that the main idea? Do you see the Great Wall being mentioned anywhere else other than these 2 lines? No. We could definitely say that is not the main idea. we probably would have seen it a lot earlier than that if it was. So once again, a pretty good detail, but not the main idea, not what it's mostly about. Choice 3. China has more people than any other country in the world. Yes, it does. It even says it down here. It finishes with it. China also has more people than any country in the world. But once again, do you see anything else that talks about people, about the number of people, the population, anything along those lines? Anywhere up here other than down here? No, you don't. So once again, a very good detail, an important fact to know about China, but probably not the main idea. And I'm going to say absolutely no, it's not. Matter of fact, of these 3 choices, the best one is probably the first one, because not only does it mention thousands of years, but it talks about the long-lasting dynasties or empires. So that's the best choice so far. But let's take a look at the last one, choice D. It says China not only has a lot of people, but has been around for a very long time. Now, what do we notice in this last sentence? Well, first off, it mentions China, of course. It mentions a lot of people, which goes with having a lot more people than any other country in the world. Different wording, but pretty much the same thing. It's the same idea. A lot of people. It doesn't say it has the most, but it does say it has a lot of people. It also says, but has been around for a very long time. What is a very long time? Well, if I look over there back at the article, and here's the people, by the way. Up here, thousands of years. And what do you know? Longest, there's long time, longest lasting empire. Once again, not the exact same wording, and you got to be careful with that. Make sure that even though the wording is not exactly the same word for word, that the message they're trying to say is not the same. It probably is if you look carefully enough. Well, not always, but the point is, make sure that you understand what both the answer and the passage, or the choice in the passage, is saying, so that you can tell whether or not, even though they're using different words, whether or not they're trying to say the same thing. Remember, look for that. They're not going to always put it word for word, copy for copy, okay? So once again, this choice talks about the people, the number of people, not an exact number, but a lot of people. More than any other country in the world. Also, a very long time it's been around. Very long time. Try to make it closer. Right? Because China has been around for thousands of years. Long-lasting empires ruled by dynasties. Right? So that's 2 ideas. 2 of these details are in this sentence. Now I will say this. You don't see the Great Wall. But guess what? It's not necessarily important that the Great Wall is in this sentence. Because remember what I said at the beginning? The main idea is what a passage is mostly about. Not necessarily entirely about. It doesn't have to cover every little thing. I don't see dynasties. I don't see empires. And I don't see the Great Wall. But I do see people. A lot of people, and I do see the fact that it's been around for a very long time, which are 2 ideas, one here, that are being mentioned in the passage. And I hope you could see that. Okay? So I think we could safely say that the best choice is this one, number 4. China not only has a lot of people, but has been around for a very long time. That covers most of it. This just talks about the time. This just talks about the wall. This just talks about the people. This talks about both the time and the people. Even though it doesn't mention the wall, this is still telling me what it's mostly about, because the time is in this paragraph, the people are in this paragraph. Mostly. Okay? So yes, that is the main idea. This one right here. Or the best choice for main idea. You know what I would like to see you do? Not see you do, because I'm not there with you, but what I would love for you to do is pause this video where the article is, where the passage is, and see if you could write your own main idea sentence that's probably better than this. I'm sure you could think of one. Remember, I only need one sentence. We're looking for one sentence. We don't want a whole summary. One sentence. Pretend that you're in charge of this TV thing and they're doing a program about China with this information. And you have to write a very good description without giving it away as to what it's mostly about. When they click that remote, they want to know what it's mostly about. You could probably come up with a better sentence than this even, because you know there are some things that are left out. Remember, you don't have to put everything in there, but just enough to give the reader the right idea. Okay? Once again, these are the supporting details. This is the main idea in this case. Okay? Use this to help you as well. And of course, use this. All right? Hope you found that helpful.